Okay, I'm Mr. D, and this is the jazz band class of 2015. And today, we are, yes, go ahead, give yourself a clap. Anyway, today, we are being graced by Tyler Lewandowski, who stepped up and would like to make a presentation and called Another Side of Music, where he's going to bring in music production and the engineering aspect of music production and the technical aspect of music production. It's not just, there's a lot of non-musicians behind the scenes in music. Music is a multi-billion-dollar business. They're not all musicians. They're businessmen or they're engineers. So, without any further ado, let's bring Tyler up to center stage.
Hi guys.
Hello. Hey Tyler.
Hey.
And I'm going to talk to you guys today a little bit about music engineering and production. My goal today is to maybe enlighten you guys a little bit about the kind of behind the scenes kind of things that happen, and also to tell you that it's not just listening to music that is the part that gets to you. It's that when you make it too, you can actually relate to your music. So thank you. All right, a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Delaware, not far from here. I was born in Christiana Hospital. It's like an hour away. I did go to Grove High School, which is right over the line in PA. I moved to PA when I was somewhere around 7 or 8 years old. I went to high school, graduated, and then I moved back to Delaware just to be with my family. I did produce music. I began producing in 2010. One of my friends actually started doing it, and she needed a little bit of help with kind of the engineering aspect, like recording and things like that. So I stepped in, and I was really interested in it. I took on my own side project under the name DJ Echo Tyler. I was thinking about it and got a lot of things on Facebook and invitations to go DJ with spinning discs and levels, and that's not what I do. I'm not a live performer. I'm more of a producer. So I did change my name to Sierra, and that's my producer name now. And I record for 3 bands. One of them is mine, and 2 of them are 2 of my friends' bands. All different kinds of music. I do heavy metal music, I do rock, and one of them's a rapper. And I do, produce instrumentals for hip-hop artists. That's kind of one of the new things I do. I haven't really gotten much experience in it yet, but it's a completely different aspect because I produce a kind of a techno kind of music, dubstep kind of thing, and getting into the hip-hop scene is totally, it's different beats, and the whole composure of the music is different. Currently I do have 5 full-length albums, and I am working on the 6th right now. Some of those albums are on my Facebook page under the name Sierra. You can find me on there. They're free downloads. So. Here's a few of the facets of music engineering and production. Gotta read these, right? The production engineering, that's what I do. It's all producing music with getting in the software and putting all the notes and keys together, making everything sound cool. That allows you to create your own music, and to me that's the best part about it, is that it's your own, and you can really, like I said, you can relate to your music. What I do is whenever I have I latch onto a feeling, and I channel it into the music, and it helps me actually make better music that way. And it does allow the maximum flexibility in creation, because it's kind of like you can just set your mind free and you can do whatever you want to do. It does require a lot of creativity, and I know some people say they're not creative enough to do this, but as long as you like have an ear to hear like what kind of notes sound good together and which ones don't, I think anybody can do it. The recording engineering is like more the behind the scenes kind of thing that I was talking about. It involves like the plugging in of instruments and recording for them, and then later on you get into production with all the separate tracks and you put them together and make them sound good. It's recording for musicians and bands. It is mastering. That's more the production value of it, but it is a mastering because you have to get like on soundboards that you plug into the instruments too. They usually have levels and things that need to sound right just to start with. It does require knowledge of software and features. It involves a lot of hardware, and like you have to know kind of a little bit about the hardware and software that you're using so that you can make everything sound right. And the co-op production is the new thing that I got into, and it involves like you yourself doing both recording and the production alongside another person that is like a separate thing. Like this rapper that I'm working with has a completely separate side project, and then I came along and we decided to merge into one thing. And it allows a lot of people to kind of mash their minds together, and it helps a lot with like the cool ideas that you guys can just throw ideas at each other and see what sticks in a sense. It's creating music for a certain purpose or focus group, such as creating a movie score. That's another thing. The co-op production, a lot of movies and like production value places will hire like producers and engineers to create movie scores, like songs that go along with the soundtracks of movies. And that's for like a certain thing, for a certain purpose or focus group. And there's also, for instance, instrumentals for a hip-hop artist. The program I do use is called FL Studio. There's many different versions of it, as you can see. All the different things depends on how much you pay for it. They range from, the demo is free, but it's limited in all the aspects that you can get inside of the program. The Express version has a little bit more features. The Fruity edition is like the normal one that like once you kind of have a hang of what you're doing, you can get that one. I use the Producer edition. It is the most expensive one. With all of the plugins and things that I have, and the plugins, I'll get to that, are like standalone kind of things. Like you download them separately from the program, and you can use them like hand in hand. Like for instance, it'll be like a synthesizer that isn't normally in the program, but you can download it and use it inside the program for like a different sound. It's a digital audio workstation. It works on Macs and on PCs, so that's cool. Usually a lot of the DAWs only work with like certain platforms. Like GarageBand only works with like Macs, but it works on both, and that's pretty cool. It does feature its own unique plugin set. It comes with a set of either 10 or 12 preset plugins, and that comes included in the price. It has lifetime free updates. Once you pay the $300, $500 for the program itself, you can update free because you pay that much, and they care about the customers that pay for their things. It can be used as some people use it as like, they'll make short little clips, like 30-second little songs, just to get their ideas out of their heads. Or you can use it, like I do, to take all your ideas and make it into a song. And everything in this can be publicated and it can be trademarked. So that's pretty cool, because you can communicate with the servers and everybody that works behind the scenes at this company, and they can like license your music to like recording companies and things like that. Some of the main features I'll explain to you in the next few slides. This will help you later when I bring up the program itself to follow along a little bit more smoothly. The workstation is pretty much what you see when you open up a fresh, empty program. You open up the program and that's what comes up. It's where all the work is done. It's like what you put everything into that allows you to like manipulate the sounds and things. It's a clean slate where you can just pile all your ideas. And you can add any of the following windows to this workstation. The playlist is one of the windows that you can add onto this workstation. It is where the majority of the work is done because it allows you to drag and drop sounds and sound clips into the playlist and order them and like manipulate them to your liking. They can be arranged any way you want. You can create patterns inside of this playlist, and you can morph the clips in pitch, length, and frame of playback. The step sequencer is the next thing. It's also another window you can drag and drop in there. It allows you to arrange the sound clips to create a beat, and the sound clips are, as for instance, the kick, the clap, the hat, and the snare. And each of those little rectangles that you click on, it makes like a pattern. And you can play it, and it'll make like kind of a beat. That's where you make your beats and stuff. You can drag and drop different sound clips in there, like different kicks and different claps and hats and all those things. But yeah, that's where you make all your beats. The mixer is a little bit more complicated. It's where you can you can link all of your sound clips that you put into your song to each individual track, and then you can link like different standalones to it, which are like they help morph the sounds of the clips themselves, and it allows you to focus on individual sounds instead of focusing on the entire song as a whole. And it's where you make everything sound professional, and you put on the final touches. The browser is where all of your sounds come from. When you download new sound clips, or the ones that are preloaded into the program, you'll find all of them in these different envelopes. And it's pretty much just like a library of all your sounds that you can use in your different songs. The piano roll is literally just a keyboard. You can link it into like the different plugins and things, like the synthesizers and all that. And that's where you make the notes for these synthesizers and things. It allows you to put notes together and create your own chord progressions. And I think that's kind of cool too. Like, instead of like putting individual notes, you can actually make like chords. And that also requires like almost a little bit of knowledge on how to play a piano. But I had no prior knowledge of learning how to play a piano before I came into this program, and it's not that hard actually, because you can also do it with the keyboard on your computer. So it's pretty fun. It's an easy thing to get used to. And all these plugins I've been talking about, that's all the plugins, well, some of them, it's not all of them, in the library that I was talking about, the browser. That's the plugin itself in the middle. That's what the whole plugin looks like. And on the very right side is the list of all the different sounds that plugin can make. And it's only some of the plugins. I couldn't get all of them in one screen. But yeah, you can link all these to a piano roll and get all different types of sounds. And it allows you to modulate everything from the pitch to the notes to vibrations to even like cutting out the volume over and over. And you do that with all the little knobs and sliders and stuff. And now I'll show you how it works. This is one of the projects that I made for my last album. It's the outro track on the album. I made this track when I was really tired. And it happened at like 3 in the morning and it just came to me. It's kind of like a soundscapey kind of thing. But all of those things, like pattern 1, pattern 2, and pattern 3, and 4, are all in the piano roll with like different types of sounds. Track 1 is, like, that's what the piano roll looks like when there's notes in it. And like you can play each individual note. And you can add like a bunch of filters and things to them. Like that's how I got the echo on them and everything. And all of them are linked into the mixer. And if you click on them, you can see all the different filters I put on. Those are all the standalones that I was talking about, that you can link to each individual sound. And they all have their own things. And that's what it looks like inside of the playlist, or inside of the step sequencer. You just make the piano roll, and there's all different patterns that I made, all different kinds of things, and they all have different sounds. But if you do notice, they're all the same thing with different noises. Like that one sounds like that. And pattern 2 sounds like that. And pattern 3 sounds like that. And that's just because of all the filters that I put on them. I put different filters on each one, so they all sound different. And you can put envelopes in there too. That's also from the mixer. When you go in, you can add, like if I go on here, if I wanted to change the volume, you just create an automation loop, and then you can edit like individual points to however you want it to sound. And then, once you have them all what you want in the step sequencer, you pretty much just select the pattern you want, and then you can just add it on. And you just kind of drag and drop them to however you want them to show up. But that's pretty much it. And then inside of here, like to get these little things like that, I go into the library for that. And these are where like all the sound clips are and things that are downloaded. And like you can see all these things, and you can like click on them and hear what they sound like. And for the most part, that's pretty much the whole entirety of the song. Is piano rolls in the mixer with different sounds on them, and together. Just because they all have like really different sounds, but they all also kind of relate to each other in a way. That they're like light and airy. And I'll show you one of the tracks that I made for the hip-hop artist that I'm working with. It's also like, it's one of the first tracks I made for him, and I was kind of just getting into it, just because I had no idea what to do. So this was kind of the first one that we both decided that we liked. And again, it's all made in the piano roll with like the different plugins that I have. And all the plugins are also in the library over in the plugin database. And then you just pick whatever kind of plugin you want, if you want a drum or synthesizer or whatever. And yeah, it's just all piano rolls. That's a beat pattern right there. And that's what it looks like when you make a beat. It's pretty simple. And these are all drag and drop sound clips. Still in the process of making that one, but that's just the gist of like a little bit of the co-op that you can do all in the same project or on the same program. It's really interesting, like everything that you can do inside of here. And here's one of the mastering examples that I'm doing. This is actually one of the songs that my band and I recorded together. I have two of this one because my computer can't handle all of the production that I made. So I'll show you this one first. These are all the different tracks. I titled them just so I could tell what they all are. But this is where the power of the mixer comes in, because when you record for a band, you have to record clean tracks or tracks that have little to no effects on them, especially in this kind of music, because it's like a really affected kind of music. So I'll show you what it sounds like without all of the filters on. And you can see it's got like minimal effects on it. It's just kind of like almost an EQ. That's one of the only ones that we actually kind of recorded with an effect on, because that's almost exactly what we wanted in the song. So you can see again how they all sound different. And then I'll play that again with all the mixer filters on. And it's crazy how much of a difference you can make by just adding filters. But you can see, like, I didn't add much of a filter the difference there is by just adding filters. That's just a little bit of the master and production value things that you can do. Also in the same program. It does require like a little bit of outside work just to record all the tracks and things. But once you have them recorded, you can just throw them into the same program that we've been looking at for all these things to be done. And